What's going on YouTube? I'd like to welcome you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Mana and you can call me D-Boy. I'm here for you guys with yet another deck profile. As you can see on Kagero Overlords, this would be the deck profile before the new Kai legendary deck would come out. So just show you how this deck would look before that, and then we will change the deck with the new support. So first, for your starter, I still like this card. What he does is when you retire something from your opponent, you can use his skill to put him into the soul, and then your opponent would have to choose and retire something from their field, which is very good, especially with the draw trigger. Gatling Claw Dragon. What he does is you counterblast one, put this draw trigger into your soul, and from there you can retire a grade 0. So you retire their starter, and then if they have a grade 1 or a grade 2 out, then this guy would retire that unit. So a very good combo, especially if you play this combo with, let's say, Neo Flame, then you could retire 3 cards for 2 counterblast early game. So this would destroy your opponent's field, and yeah, you do lose 2 counterblasts, but it doesn't really matter because your opponents would have to put more units out there to recover from that, and you just it's a small combo that you could play, but it's very good. So next, for the grade 3s, I still like to run for the cross. I don't think that any other who plays this deck would run less. Maybe with a new support, but for now you do need the cross to win your games. So playing for, if you don't know what he does, he legions with the end. So playing for the end for SPs. The end skill, when he hits the vanguard, you can Persona Blast, so discard the end from your hands and counterblast 2, and then you can restand your vanguard. So when they are in Legion, you would get the end skill, and then you also have the cross skill, which is if they don't hit, then you can counterblast 1 and discard the cross from your hand to retire 2 units from your opponent's field by your choice. So very good combo. It's very devastating because if they guard, they would lose 2 units, and if they don't guard, they would lose. Yeah, you would attack again, and maybe if they guard, then they would lose 2 units. So a very good combo. Also, when he legions, you can search your deck for up to 1 unit that you have on your vanguard circle. So when you legion with the end, you can get the cross or the end into your hand, so you can use their skill. And for the last grade 3 that I run in here, I still like to play 2 Dragonic Overlords, because this deck usually should run the Dragonic Overlord, because it is the card that all of the Overlords started with. I know it's the break ride, not the old one, but still, it's the Dragonic Overlord. You could play the Great. I don't really like him because you would want to go into the cross, and then if you first go into the Great and then you go into the cross, then you would get nothing from the Great skill. But if you go into the break ride, then you could still get the break ride, so attack more with the Great, with the cross, so even better. But yeah, it's up to you to run which. I think most people would like to run the Great. I still like to run the Break Ride. But with the new support, I think that all of us would run maybe different units. So this would be replaced, I think. I'm not sure yet, but I think that he would be replaced. For the Grade 2s, I know that all the hype about Aqua Force is all out, but I still think that the 10k grade 2 body is very good, especially if you run him with the monk, which I'll show you in a second. But being able to attack for 16, and if your attack didn't really hit, with the cross, then you would retire 2 units, which means that he would get an extra 10k, and that would put these 2 units attacking for 26, which is a very high number, giving them the extra crit with attack for 31 and a crit. So very, very good to still run the 10k body, especially in this deck, because you need the power and you need to show your opponent that you are better, you are stronger. So they couldn't, even if you have him as your rearguard, they would have a problem by getting him out of there. So good to run this card. Next, I play the 12k attacker. I know that you would think you don't have any space for Neoflame and Burnout, but I only run 2 Neoflames and 1 Burnout. I dislike this card a lot because he needs to get an Overlord back from your drop zone into your deck to use his skill, and that would be like when you stride, so the turn that you stride, or even when you the turn that you used the cross or the end skill. So I don't really know why people would run more. I know that this card is strong, don't get me wrong, but just he doesn't really cost a counter blast, just a soul blast. But I still think that playing 1 or 2 or even 3, but I would never play 4. And Neoflame, on the other hand, is very good, especially early game, because this card also, when anything hits that column, then you could still use his skill. So his skill is doesn't really have to be destroyed or uh, retired by a unit skill. It had just to be retired, so you can use his skill to even when you attack that unit. I would just read it out for you guys if you don't know what I mean. Well, his skill is when this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, then when your opponent's rearguard is in the same column as this unit is put into the drop zone, then you may pay the cost, which is a counterblast 1, and your opponent would have to choose one of the rearguards in the same column and retire it. So let's say your opponent had 2 units in the front in the column that this unit is facing. Then if you attack the first unit and you hit, so the unit gets retired, you can still use his skill to attack to retire the one in the back row. So for a counterblast, you retire a unit, and with him for a soul blast, you retire a unit. But you need to put an overlord back from the drop zone into your deck. So yeah, for the great ones, I like to run the all perfect guards. Normally, first when I started playing this deck, I run the G perfect guard, but now I'm I don't really want to lose in a mirror match or against Dimension Police. So that's why I run just the all perfect guards. Next, I run 3 stride fallers because you sometimes do need to stride, but you don't want to discard the ace or I mean the cross or the end. So that's why I still like to run 3 the stride fallers. And 4 monk because this card does get so much power, especially playing it with the cross or even when you stride. This card is really good. What he does is he's at 6k GB1. When you retire something, he gets an extra 5k. So good card. And then I play the Soul Blast to draw 1 card. You could play 2 of him and playing 2 Stride Fathers, and you play the On Flipper, which gives you more counterblast. I did play the deck like that, but now I run 3 on 3 for more consistency in this deck. For the triggers, 6 draws, starting up with Cutling Draw Dragon, very good card. Counterblast 1, put it into your soul and retire grade 0. Put it into your soul and give something 3k. You don't really use that skill, but yeah, very good. And then going with 6 crits. Yeah, because you do attack multiple times with your vanguard, and sometimes you just need to get the crit on the first try. So you could do them more damage, and then they would have to perfect guard or guard that attack, and then you could still retire 2 units. And because this deck does really go into late game against some other decks, you do need to run the 4 heal triggers. For the stride options that you have, many people would play 2 Mustafa. Some of you guys already know that I only play 1 Mustafa and 1 Muhammad. The reason for that is that I think that he pressures more, and with playing him first, they would discard the perfect guard to guard his attack, which that's what you want. You want them to discard the perfect guard, but if you have to destroy or retire something that they have on the field, then you would still go into Mustafa and unflipping or flipping him, which would mean that you can choose his second skill to unflip something, but doesn't really matter because you're doing so just to retire a unit. And if you don't want to, then you would still go into Muhammad. And if you want to retire the whole column, then you would just do so by paying nothing. So using Root Flare Dragon, if you don't know what he does, is if you have him as your vanguard, you can use his skill. Um, Flip 1 copy of him face up, and then you can retire a whole column of your opponent, which makes a very, very, very good combo with Monk, which would give him an extra 10k. That means that if he is by himself, could attack for 16, and boosting a unit, it could attack for a very, very, very high numbers. And last but not least, I'm playing 2 of the Ace. With the new support coming out, I think that I would take 2 Root Flares out to just have more options. But for now, I'm playing the deck like this. The Ace skill, if you don't know him, he is a pretty good card, I would say. The downside about him is that you have to counterblast 2. So counterblast 2 and use his skill by flipping one of himself, and then when this unit attacks the vanguard, it gets a drive check -1, so he only has 2 twin drive, so twin drive, not triple drive. When he attacks the vanguard, at the end of that battle, you can discard an Overlord and another card from your hand. Should you discard 2, one of them should be an Overlord, and then he can restand and get an extra 5k, which means that he can attack again. Very good to pressure or just finish your opponent off, especially if you know that they have a perfect guard which would stop the end skill. Then you could still go for the ace. To use his skill, you have to stride before him because you need to face up units in your G zone to use the skill. So you need to go for Muhammad or Mustafa first, then you go into him. So think about that this deck need to stride first, especially if you want to use your Monk skill and give more power. You do need to get the GB1 skill. It's the same with the Ace. To go into the Ace, you need to stride before him. So first turn, you could Legion, but also I would say stride on the first turn, and then the first opportunity that you could. So on your third turn or fourth, depends on your opponent if you're going first or second. Then I would say stride first and then Legion, but you could also Legion. Doesn't really matter. It's the way that you want to play the deck. With the new strides, I would say Legion first, but for now, this is the deck. So thanks for watching, guys, and if you want to see the new deck profile on the new support, uh, put a comment in the comment section below. Give us a like. Go into YouTube because our YouTube channel has way more videos, and on Facebook you have less to see. So if you want to see more, go into our YouTube channel, and some of the videos we have in English and in Dutch. So if you want to see a video in Dutch, then put a comment or go into YouTube channel and look up the video on in our channel. So thanks for watching, and we love all the likes, the comments, the love that you gave us so far, and we want to make sure that we make more and more videos for you. And followed up by this video, I would do a deck profile on Spike Brothers, the Rising Nova deck. Yeah, about that deck, I want to know what you want to see. Do you want to see a Rising Nova with a Bad End Dragger? Do you want to see a Dudley Stride deck, or do you want just to see the old Ogles with the new support? So tell us what you want to see next, and we will make sure to answer you and make a comment or make a new video about the thing that you want to see. So yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time.